The key piece of information or advice I'd give to any social worker would be,
don't forget who you are.
To treat every client with respect.
Do not be afraid to involve the child and the family at the absolute centre of your work.
Be there, to be alongside whoever you're working with, to listen to what they've got to say, to respond to that.
You look after yourself because you can't effectively help other people unless you're well.
make sure you always make time for professional development. You will always have too much work to do. That will never change. You will always be snowed under. But to make sure you develop as a practitioner, make the time to go to case discussions, to go to seminars, to go to conferences, to go to training. So the worst piece of advice I've ever been given as a social worker was my mom, who said, whatever you do, don't be a social worker. So that's the worst piece of advice I have, and I think she'll freely admit now that that was a terrible piece of advice, given how much I love the work that I do.
Keep it real, be yourself, and don't forget the reason why you're doing the job. It's not about you, it's not about the development, it's not about the organisation, it's about the people you're working with. And I think that was the best thing. Keep it real.
The best piece of advice I was given as a social worker was by my old boss, John Black, an ex-scaffolder steel worker, and he said the best thing you can do for your clients is when you walk into their home is remember that it's their home and treat it with respect.
So the worst piece of advice that someone ever gave me was when I was quite a newly qualified social worker, and they said to me, if you're getting complaints from parents and they don't like you, it means you're doing a good job, because they're not meant to like you. Well, they're not all going to like you, but actually you do have to have a relationship with them. It's really important.
Best piece of advice was just to be there. It was in my very first job as a residential social worker. I don't feel any different now. To be there alongside the children and young people that you're working with, to listen to what they've got to say.
The best piece of advice that I've been given is to distinguish between the things that are in your control and things you can influence, and the things that are outside of your control, and to focus on doing the things that you can make a difference with.